Hello, I'm Raleigh Ritchie.
I'm Raleigh Ritchie. I am Raleigh Ritchie.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Raleigh Ritchie Radio. I'm Kam.
I'm Alesha.
And this is a new podcast that Alesha and I are starting to walk through Raleigh Ritchie's career, aka Jacob Anderson. If you don't know, I run Jacob Anderson Daily, and Alesha.
I run Riley Songs. Face reveal.
Face reveal, yes. And we have been doing these listening parties for Raleigh Ritchie music for a few months now, and I think we really like to do them. It's really fun to talk about the music and connect with fans, and we just thought maybe like starting kind of a podcast series and talking about our love for Raleigh Ritchie music and connecting with fans of his music would be kind of a fun thing to do. So here we are, I guess. Yeah. We've made it. We've survived. We've been talking about it for some time and doing it. So
yeah, we did it.
Today's episode, we just kind of wanted to, talk about our relationship with Raleigh Ritchie, what you can expect from this show, and then hopefully in the future we'll have a little bit more in-depth episodes. So I guess starting off, like how we kind of envision this podcast going is we'll start at the beginning of Raleigh Ritchie's music career with like Stay Inside and the Middle Child EP, and then we'll work our way up until Dead Ends and Diversions, and then hopefully Raleigh Ritchie 3 2025.
Yes. Soon, hopefully.
Soon, whatever that means. We'll talk about that. We'll go through each kind of individual song, and I do feel like we're kind of Raleigh Ritchie experts in the fact that we spend a lot of time reading a lot of interviews Jacob's done, also his band and crew. So we'll provide a little bit of context to each of the songs. If there's a music video, we'll kind of do a watch along. I also kind of think we'll probably end up doing like fun things like tier list and ranking different things.
I like that.
His discography, and where it kind of relates in his career, and hopefully you'll learn some stuff about his music through it, and I don't know, just spread love for Raleigh Ritchie. I think a lot of fans maybe haven't listened to his music yet and kind of don't know where to start, so we want to introduce people to him and also spotlight all of the talented musicians behind the scenes who work with Jacob and help bring Raleigh Ritchie music to life because they're amazing. How did you first get into Raleigh Ritchie? Because you've been a big fan of him for a lot longer than I have.
Yeah, I think it was like the beginning of 2014. So saw a music video on TV. Obviously, like that's how I used to watch it back in the day.
Back in the day,
literally like 10 years ago. And yeah, I saw him. I was like, "Who's this? Like, why is this guy floating like from a park bench? Like, who is this? I like this song. Stronger Than Ever. If you haven't watched it, we'll watch it later on.
We'll be watching
it. Yeah. I was like, this is cool. And then then You're a Man Now Boy came out, and I was like, okay, sick. This guy's cool. As I've got older, I obviously listened to him, but I feel like you relate more, and I feel like the connection's got a bit deeper than it was just like, oh, this guy's cool. This guy sounds nice, whatever. But yeah, so that's how I started liking him back in 2014.
Yeah.
What about you?
God, you've been here for so long. Like, you've been here since the beginning, for real. Like, You're a Man Now Boy. 2014 was really when he, like, started going.
Yeah.
A little bit in 2013, but 2014 was, like...
Yeah. I'd say that's when he kicked off.
Yeah, I have not been here that long. 10 years late, 10 years after. You've been in the fandom for 10 years longer than I have.
No.
I'm like 2 months old. I just got here.
That's fine. Even if you're a day old, the fans are fun.
That's true. No judgment. Yeah, no. I started watching Interview with the Vampire, which I feel like a lot of people probably did. It's kind of a tradition. And probably I think I started watching that show in like June of 2024, like this year. And then I was kind of going through it, a little depressed girl, period. Okay. As we do. And I don't know like why. I think I just like looked up Jacob Anderson. I started listening to his music, and I would go on walks and listen to Andy a lot, and it was so comforting for me. Even though I discovered Jacob through Interview with the Vampire, the reason why I like decided to start my fan page is because of his music, and that's what really like connected with me the most. I feel like also his music is like so key to understanding him, I guess. I feel like we've talked about this where it feels like sometimes Raleigh Ritchie is more like who Jacob is.
I agree with that. Like, I feel like obviously Jacob's his name, but I feel like Riley Ritchie is his mind, and I feel like that's how you get to know him. I feel like you can only really know him through his music rather than, I don't know, it's difficult to explain.
Like this public persona. I feel like his music, he said like it's so honest and open.
Ritchie was going to be my name. I think it was because the songs were so honest, or because they were just so personal.
Yes.
I was like, I need to protect myself from, I need to not feel like I can't say anything for fear of somebody being like, Jacob, you said this thing.
So, and I think we'll talk more about that and his lyrics throughout the podcast and kind of what Raleigh Ritchie means to him. The nice thing about you, though, is like how you and I have met, I guess. You've been a fan for so long. You went to the 2 Nights Lonely show. Was that the first time we like connected? Is I like stole your photos?
Yeah, I think I posted a picture of me outside going, guess who's seeing Raleigh Ritchie today?
And I was like, what?
Yeah, like, okay, let's see what she posted.
Notice on, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, oh my God, big like update account. Oh.
No, at that time, I was not a big update account, so you're sweet.
I think I was posting saying I was there, and then I was like, I think the first message I sent was, I'll send you some videos that I get tonight or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I remember that actually. And then,
and it was like it was like on your personal account. It was before you had your fan account.
Yeah.
And I think we bonded over both liking K-pop and NCT. Mark Lee, if you're listening.
Mark, come on the
Raleigh Ritchie Radio, Mark Lee. And then when did you create Raleigh songs?
August. I think it was August.
Yeah.
And
you
there was more just
about like wanting to get more into the Raleigh Ritchie fandom.
Yeah.
3 of us.
Yeah, because I just feel like
there's not a lot of
there was no like song like music fan pages for him, like because all I really post is like songs of him, like so people know him, and it's like made people aware that he's like first of all British, second of all he's a singer. So like I just feel like
it's amazing how many people still don't know that he's like a singer. Like I still will get posts. I always get like, wait, he was on Game Grumps, and then wait, he makes music. He's like Raleigh Ritchie.
It's kind of cool how like we started liking him for opposite reasons. If that makes sense. We like him for both like the same reasons, but it's like I didn't know his name was Jacob Anderson until recently.
Yeah,
like a few years down the line.
Right.
It's Raleigh Ritchie.
And all his social media used to be like Raleigh Ritchie. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing, like, I wanted to talk about is you, I feel like, are kind of a big music person in general. Like, especially even just like Stormzy, like UK, that's your bestie.
Yeah, low-key. Yeah, like I'm a big British music fan. So like more like the black music side of British music. But yeah. I think that's what drew me to him, because there weren't at that time many people out, and like other than I started liking him and Stormzy around the same time. And there was like some boy groups who were like they were fully black, and I was like, oh my God, these people are like me. Oh my God, what the hell? So like it drew me to them, and I was like, and they're all making great music. So
I'm gonna like completely like assume as like somebody from Iowa and is white, but from my outside perspective, I feel like the UK music recognition really started growing in like the 2014 to 2016 era. Like a lot of it because Stormzy, I feel like. But it's interesting that like Raleigh Ritchie was in that era too, and like Ray really started he's obviously way more famous now, but a lot of these, I don't know, not like underground but artists really
because they were like
period. I feel like
they were definitely underground like at that time. It's like you get your big like, I don't know if you know him, but in the UK he's quite big. Skepta, you got like, well, to be fair, it was only like really Skepta who was like the big one, and then Stormzy came along and he had like one song that went off, so that everyone knew him. But then on his like debut album, Panic Signs and Prayers, Riley Ritchie was on it. So obviously people know who he is, but they don't know who he is. So it's like it's one of them, and you can say like, oh, he's on Game of Thrones, and they're like, oh wait, but it didn't like wait. we're not putting two and two together. So I feel like, yeah, I feel like, sorry, going back to what this is, like, I feel like it's good that we're kind of putting the two and two together for people and
Yeah.
getting to know who he is.
And then, but also like you have that context of like music throughout, like of his journey. And I think like I'm excited to just like hear your perspective on stuff like that too, as like somebody who wasn't here for it. Switching gears, Raleigh Ritchie 3, 2025.
Yep.
What did he actually post on his story? Because now I want to look it up. I know it's so
It's
fun.
definitely the hashtag, right?
Yeah, was it just hashtag RR3 2025?
Yeah.
I think so.
And I think it was, did he post a picture of his new vinyl?
Yeah, it was him holding, if you're not familiar, if you're not following Raleigh Ritchie on Instagram, follow Jacob Anderson on Instagram and on Twitter. He's definitely much more an Insta boy though. So I think like actually in October was the first time, I'm trying to find these photos, was when we saw a photo from Jacob's team in the studio, like Sam Skiro, who is like his bassist, I believe. And I think Chris Loco, who's a producer and longtime collaborator of Raleigh Ritchie. I think they were in the studio, posted photos, and I remember being like, that's interesting. That's interesting that you're both in the studio. And then by that Friday, I think it was Sam actually posted photos of Jacob like recording music, and they were just like had such a lovely time like this past week. It was so beautiful. So we were all like, okay, Raleigh Ritchie's in the studio. Like this is exciting. Like what's going on? What's happening? And then Chris Loco posted RR3 in the studio. So we were like, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening. Yeah. Like really started freaking out. And then when Jacob was promoting his new Dead Ends and Diversions vinyl, which you can order now on his website, he posted a photo, and up in the corner, hidden away, was hashtag RR3 2025. So this was kind of gagged us, because we were even like, okay, maybe Jacob's in the studio, maybe RR3 is being made. We're not going to see that shit until like 2028.
Yeah. Boy, were we wrong.
Notoriously takes a long time to make his music, I would say. I'm calling him out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how long, obviously, like, You're a Man Now Boy took, but Andy, he started working on, like, in 2016, 2018. I know he has photos of being, like, back in the studio for our second album, and it didn't come out until 2020. So, when RR3 was announced, I was like, we're not seeing this forever. Busy boy, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And then he said, got your asses. Fuck you.
Yeah.
He said, fuck you, Cam and Alesha. You're wrong. Directly tagged us.
And I'll hold my hands up.
I said, you're right.
We're wrong.
I think what was kind of crazy about this is because we were like, okay, first of all, you went to the 2 Nights Lonely shows. There, he kind of said, like, I don't remember exactly, but was like, I was thinking about retiring from music or something along that ways, but being here with you guys has really like reinvigorated me. And then previously he had been like, when asked about new music, he's like, I haven't written anything since like Andy. He had not written any new music for a really long time. I know, like, in comparison, in the past, he's really used music to like process feelings and emotions. I think he's won in like a lot of a better place now. He's also a dad, so he's a busy boy. And then I think Interview with the Vampire has provided a little bit of an outlet for him with that. So it was like, okay, you know, maybe it's just music isn't kind of the outlet in the same way that it used to be for him. And that's kind of why I was like, okay, maybe we won't be, like, maybe this is kind of it with Dead Ends and Diversions, and we won't see any for a while he kind of pursues acting, and he proved our asses wrong. So then I'm also just like, how long has he been working on this? Like, how long has he been lying to our faces?
Literally. Like, when would he have even recorded it? He's been busy. He's a busy boy. Like, when? I don't know. I really don't. Like, is it literally like a last few months thing? Is it a yearly thing? Like,
well, that's why that's exactly it, because it's like, for how long it does traditionally take him to make this music. Has he been working on it a lot longer than we think, and he's just been like teasing with us, especially with the concerts? Or is it kind of like after the shows they got back in the studio, like when Sam started posting about it? Because also in the past used to be a lot more active on social media, so he would document the process a lot more, and now it's just like I don't
He's
know.
I just feel like he's gonna drop it, and no one's gonna know.
I'm so scared he's just gonna drop
I know.
it. Like, I feel like any day we're gonna get, hey,
Yeah.
this album's coming out.
Literally. I can imagine saying it's on all streaming platforms now, check it out, and I'd be like, wait, what? What direction do you think it's gonna go down? As in, like, do you think it's gonna be like the other albums, which I feel like are more of a diary of like his emotions, but or obviously he's in a better place now. And he kind of touched on that in Two Nights Lonely tour.
Yeah.
But like it's not the tour, sorry, the dates. Make it a tour though, please.
Please.
But please. But like I don't know, is it going to be like a happy album? Is it going to actually have like features on it? Because obviously in Andy, like he didn't have any on,
Right.
obviously because he didn't want them. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, is it going to be a different vibe? I don't know.
Yeah, this is, I mean, like, if we think about, like, specifically his albums, like, You're a Man Now Boy is very much like, he was signed with Columbia Records then, he's talked about this, and he didn't have, like, complete creative control over it. So I do feel like that was, like, I mean, it's still a very personal album, and it's not, like, super pop, but it definitely feels like they were trying to make it more, like, mainstream studio music. There's like, it feels like a studio album. Well, then Andy, you know, he was with a different record company, is so personal. I don't feel like it really has its big, like, obviously like Time in a Tree and Aristocrats, like it doesn't really have like its classic singles. It feels it feels just so much like him. It's such an intimate look.
Yeah.
Now this next one, so he kind of has done like the studio thing. He's kind of done like, it's very much like one for them, one for me type thing.
Yeah.
And this one, I'm kind of like, yeah, is there still a journey with Andy that hasn't been explored yet that he still wants to go through? Or is he kind of at this place now where it's like, I think it's going to be a combination of both. I think it is going to be, I think there are going to be features on it. Maybe not. I think it would be fun if he did. He has a lot of talented musical friends like Ray. I know we'll talk about who we'd like to see as features, but I feel like also because he's gotten so much off his chest and is in hopefully a better place, that he can get a little bit more funky with it and explore sounds a little bit. He has just like such a diverse taste in music too, that I feel like this is gonna be a big album for him.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like the album.
The album. I think it's gonna be kind of that mastery of mainstream sound, kind of studio with him and who he is, and I think it's going to be really fun at times. And then I know he's talked about that he would write about like being a parent, which is a joyous thing, but also I'm sure a very stressful thing.
I can imagine him being very honest about being a parent, rather than just like saying
ups and downs.
I feel like he's going to say everything. Like, and he does. He like trusts us enough to say everything. And
well, like Big and Scared, like and talking about that song and him now having like daughters and how he wants it differently. I feel like it is going to be a reflective album still, because I feel like even more so than like Andy was. I think this is like him. Like I think he's a man now. Like I think now he's actually a man. So
literally,
I think this is the most like in knowing who he is album, I guess, that we'll get, like really confident in himself, and I think that confidence will bleed into getting a little experimental, hopefully.
I hope so as well.
Who would you like to see pop up on this album?
Oh, I mean, as a Stormzy fan, I would love him to do another song here, because every song they've done together I love it. But I was thinking about it, like Jacob Collier, I'm a massive fan of him, and I feel like he could bring depth into his songs. Like, I don't know if you listen to him or anything, but the harmonies, the way that he is music to me. Like he just knows how to create an amazing song, and I feel like Jacob Anderson would also like love how he is, like how his mind works. I feel like them two together would be phenomenal. Like his Grammy award winner, everything like is incredible. So I think he'd be really good. Little Sims.
Bring it back.
Ray.
I would love Ray. I've said this, but like I think she's the singer of our generation. Like
so underrated.
And they have a long, like she opened for him on tour before. They both collaborated with Chris Loco. I think a really fascinating collab if they ever wanted to hop on.
Definitely. I can imagine him staying British. Do you know what I mean? Like saying,
Oh yeah, 100%.
I can't imagine him wanting like a big American artist on it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it is like an intimate thing for him, so I think it would be like people in his circle and he's friends with still at the same time. I don't think he would bring in like another stranger. And also, like, again, like, I don't know what record company he signed with now, but I'm pretty sure he's kind of been doing things like, I think he almost like has his own, kind of doing things on his own. So that could be fascinating too. I feel like I know like it's like not I people compare him to Frank Ocean a lot, especially when he debuted. But I do feel like this could be like his Blonde moment, like which is again a very experimental but very personal album. Dead End Diversions obviously just came out, but those are songs that were scratched from previous albums. So I think it's like you can't even compare that to what R3 would sound like. I think honestly some of the closest would be like Say What You Mean, I'm Not Okay, but I Know I'm Going to Be Lucky. Like I think that sound could be, I think Say What You Mean especially, which is like a very kind of fun song, but lyric, like Jacob's so good at doing amazing lyrics that are so depressing, but then like these crazy beats on it. Like Worries is the funnest song I've ever heard in my life. And he's like, I just didn't want to tell you because I was gonna kill myself and
Yeah, literally, literally. It's like at the show when he did.
Did he even say like 6 feet on? Like, would anyone even miss me? And I'm like, yeah, let's fucking go.
No, it was like I think it was Party Fear. We were like singing back to him, dancing. And he's like, that was so fun, but the song's so sad. I was like, I know. What the hell?
Yeah. So more of that probably. Yeah.
Like probably dancing to it, and he's there like singing about how sad he is. I was like,
yeah.
okay.
But that's the other thing though, is like I do feel like he's in such a happier place that I mean, obviously like he talks still about like he has days where he's still really down and Adele is like such a journey, but it is like, you know, I could see him getting a little fun with it. And personally, I would love it if he sang. Like I know he likes to kind of do not rap, but not like spoken poetry-esque type.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
he lets his vocals go off.
He's so good. Say What You Mean. They've got that. He's got that little bit on there that builds up, and I'm like,
yes. So I'm like, open that mouth, start doing vocal exercises, and get to singing, my guy. I would love. I've also been listening to JB Love, which is like his very beginning era, which is like R&B core, and he's such a baby. But he sounds so beautiful. I'm like, let's get you up on that mic, doing a little like. Give me a sexy little song. I know you got it in you.
He does. I think it's coming. It's coming. I
think so too.
It's on R3. I'm telling you.
I do feel like they're kind of clearing house with the Dead Ends and Diversion vinyl now. Like they're really setting him up for new music.
He's more active. He's getting more active again. Like, well, the pages are getting more active. Like, I feel like he's rebuilding that.
They posted all of the like live from O2 stuff. Like, it feels like there's something happening. I would love like a spring release.
Oh yeah.
That's too soon.
Yes. What is it? It might be done.
No.
This album might be sat like this.
Especially if it's like his thing. I don't think he has like the same pressures of like promotion, and I don't think he really cares about that as much. But I would love that. I really hope it's sooner rather than later. And what I would love, like, you know, I guess it depends too with his other projects when there's promotions for like Bad Apples, his movie, and Real Vampire Season 3. There's rumors that that's coming out in 2025. But I would love a tour. I would love a tour for this album.
Please.
And in the past, he's performed festivals. Like that's kind of been a big thing for him. And those are usually like a summer thing. Yeah. So I feel like a spring album and a few summer dates on tour would be very nice if he wanted to.
Please want to. I hope he does want to. Yeah, I feel like he would do that. He enjoys performing. He enjoys singing. Like he loves his music in general. I think like he's just a music lover. So yeah, I can imagine him doing more festivals. I can imagine him bringing on like people that we don't know at all. Like,
Just spotlighting some voices.
yeah, I can imagine him doing that, and I like that.
Yeah,
I think it will happen. Yeah,
if we manifest hard enough, it will happen.
Yeah. We've been manifesting. Well, we've been speaking negatively about it.
I was gonna say, actually, it's like anytime I say something's not gonna happen is then when he proves me wrong. So
Yeah.
I don't think a tour is gonna happen anytime
No,
soon.
he's not going to do a full UK and US tour. Never. Never.
Not in the cards. Thank you guys
Yeah.
for tuning in for episode 1 of Raleigh Ritchie Radio. We'll be back with more deep dives into his music. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Raleigh Ritchie Radio to stay up to date with the pod. And thank you for supporting Jacob and for supporting Raleigh Ritchie. And if you haven't, go stream Dead Ends and Diversions. That's your task for today.
Yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.